Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm going to talk about the potential for food riots around the world. And people might be saying, "What are you talking about, food riots?" Well, uh, according to what I read, the whole COVID situation and due to the pandemic and the various government responses to it around the world, uh, the worldwide hunger problem was exacerbated. Hunger rose, and over half the folks around the world that are undernourished live in Asia, and more than a third live in Africa. So the whole situation with the Russia and Ukraine war is making the situation far worse. Russia's the leading exporter of wheat, and the Ukraine's number four. Together, those two countries export almost one third of the total wheat exports in the world. And much of Russia and the Ukraine's exports go to Middle East and Africa. And on top of the wheat exports, they're also big exporters of corn and barley. And not to mention, they are also exporters of fertilizer. And that's going to have a large impact on India because they get a lot of their fertilizer or components of it from that region. And in India, you got 60% of the workforce working in the agricultural sector. So, that's going to affect them in multiple ways there. So, worldwide shortages, and not to mention rising costs. So if you're not going to necessarily be hungry, you're going to definitely be paying a lot more for it. And that's on top of the inflation that we're already seeing in the US and in a lot of other countries around the world. A lot of this has to do with the rising cost of gasoline because of the uh, rising cost of oil. So that's going to affect farmers because you got in addition to the cost of just transportation, you also have production costs for the farmer's equipment and machinery. So it's getting kind of biblical around here, disease, war, famine. These are the type of things that we find in the book of Revelation, right? I mean, I'm an atheist agnostic or an agnostic atheist, but I have some familiarity with the Bible. I went to a Lutheran school for 3 years and Catholic high school. Not that the Catholic high school taught me much about the Bible, but that's a whole different story. Um, in 2021, the World Food Program had a budget shortfall of over $5 billion. So, I mean, this is just one thing after another piling up when it comes to rising cost of food worldwide and food shortages worldwide, obviously having a overwhelming disproportionate impact on the poorer parts of the world, which tend to be on continents largely and predominantly populated by people of color. You would think that the leftists would be trying to address this situation, trying to end the war in Ukraine as rapidly as possible. But there are a lot of talk and no cock. So, former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations Agencies for Food and Agriculture, his name's Kip Tom. He says there's a direct correlation between hunger and migration and the spread of extremism and terrorist activities. So, hey, isn't that great? We got more spread of extremism and terrorism to look forward to on top of all the shit that's going down now. You know, the White House, they say that different parts of the world should expect to suffer food shortages, but oh, good old Jen Psaki If you believe anything that comes out of that woman's mouth, I sure as hell don't. She says that the U.S., they don't expect the U.S. to experience any food shortages. But, I mean, that's probably true, but I wouldn't trust her word for it. That woman wouldn't know how to tell the truth if it was staring her in the face. Anyway, so I've been hearing a lot of rumblings in the last few weeks about the food shortage situation, and I heard some rumblings that there was already some violence in regard to food shortages, but I can't recall what country that was in. Obviously, it was in some third world country, somewhere in the Middle East or Africa. But if you can't afford to feed yourself, and there's not enough food, even if you could afford to feed yourself and your children, then even honest, law-abiding folks are going to have to resort to measures they normally wouldn't resort to, and things can start getting real ugly. So hopefully, powers that be, the morons that run this world, can get their shit together to address this problem. But I sure as hell don't count on it, and I wouldn't expect anyone else to count on the so-called leaders to do much of anything in regards to the food shortage crisis that we are now facing around the world. All right, everyone. Just thought I would like to bring to your attention the situation with the food crisis we're having. I mean, you might not be feeling it yet, other than paying considerably more for whatever it is you're stuffing down your gullet. I mean, I went to Burger King the other day. First world problems coming up here, right? But go through the drive-through. I order a double Whopper with cheese, just a burger. No combo meal. Didn't get a drink. Didn't get any fries with it. And 10.15. I mean, I would expect maybe 8 something, but things are just getting nuts. Anyways, if you like my stuff, please hit like, subscribe, and share all the good stuff. And thanks for watching my video. I'll see you on the next one.